Admiral White stood at the massive window of the Imperial Palace's council chamber, his aged eyes fixed on the endless stars beyond. Behind him, the most powerful beings in the galaxy argued like children. After serving the Empire for over 200 years, he had never felt more worried than today. "The humans are nothing," shouted Council Leader Red, his tentacles waving in frustration. "Just another primitive species that barely reached their moon." White turned slowly, his black uniform reflecting the soft purple light of the chamber. "That's exactly why we should be worried," he said quietly, but his voice carried authority that made everyone stop talking. "They reached their moon just 70 years ago. Do you know what they've achieved since then?" The council chamber fell silent. 12 representatives from the most advanced species in the galaxy watched as White walked to the central display. With a wave of his hand, the hologram showed Earth's solar system. 10 years ago, they had basic space stations. White continued, moving his hand through the hologram. 5 years ago, they colonized their red planet. Last year, they developed their first faster-than-light engine. He paused, letting the information sink in. "It took our species 500 years to achieve what they did in 70. Council Member Blue laughed nervously, "But their technology is primitive. Our scans show they still use combustion engines in some vehicles." White's face darkened. "That's what worries me most. Their military development doesn't match their civilian technology. Our spies report seeing things that shouldn't be possible." He pressed a button, showing images of massive underground facilities on Earth. These bases appeared overnight. No construction detected. "They're hiding something." "Impossible." Council Leader Red slammed his tentacle on the table. "No species can advance that fast." "Unless they're getting help," suggested Council Member Green, her scales shifting color with concern. White shook his head. "We've monitored all known spacefaring races. No one's helping them. They're doing this alone." He brought up another image, showing Earth's orbital defenses. "Look at their defense platforms. The design is unlike anything we've seen. When we tried to scan them, the sensors couldn't penetrate their shields. Not couldn't read them, couldn't penetrate at all." The council chamber erupted in worried whispers. In the Empire's 10,000 years of existence, they had never encountered shield technology that could completely block their scans. "There's more," White continued, his voice growing more serious. "They're military exercises. They're practicing warfare in ways we've never seen. Most species develop space combat similar to naval warfare. The humans." He showed a video of Earth ships performing impossible maneuvers. "They fight like they're still in atmosphere. Their pilots pull moves that should kill them. Either they've somehow solved the inertia problem, or what?" asked Council Leader Red, his confidence finally showing cracks. "Or they're not in their ships at all." White let that sink in. "We think they might be using some form of direct neural interface, fighting ships with their minds, not their bodies." The chamber fell into shocked silence. Such technology was theoretical, even for the Empire. "My recommendation," White said firmly, "is that we avoid all contact with Earth. No diplomatic missions, no trade offers, nothing. Let them develop on their own, far from our borders." Council Leader Red's color darkened with anger. "You suggest we show weakness. We are the Galactic Empire. We have ruled the stars for 10,000 years. And in all those years," White replied calmly, "we've never seen anything like the humans. They advance too fast. They think differently. Their military technology makes no sense." He walked back to the window, looking at the stars. "If we engage them, we better be ready for something we've never seen before." The council voted against White's recommendation. They decided to send a diplomatic mission to Earth, following standard protocols for developing civilizations. As White left the chamber, his assistant approached with a datapad. "Sir, should I cancel the contingency plans?" White took one last look at the council chamber and shook his head. "No, double them. And get me direct links to our frontier fleet commanders." He started walking toward his ship. I have a feeling we're going to need them soon. In the darkness of space beyond the Imperial Palace, distant stars twinkled peacefully, unaware that they would soon become the battlefield for a war unlike any the galaxy had ever seen. The Imperial diplomatic ship Star Glory dropped out of faster-than-light travel near Earth's moon. Captain Grant of Earth's Defense Force watched it appear on his command screen. He sat in his comfortable chair aboard humanity's newest ship, the Thunder, hiding behind the moon with 5 other vessels. "They're bigger than we expected," said his second-in-command, Tom Miller, studying the scans. The Imperial ship was massive, nearly 2 miles long, covered in golden armor that sparkled in the sunlight. Grant nodded calmly. Size isn't everything. He touched the neural interface on his neck, connecting directly with his ship's systems. Through the link, he could feel every part of the Thunder as if it were his own body. "Are our friends still invisible to their scans?" "Yes, sir. Our stealth systems are working perfectly. They only see the ships we want them to see." In Earth orbit, 3 older ships waited to greet the Imperial vessel. These were Earth's display fleet, older ships deliberately shown to make humans appear less advanced than they really were. The real fleet, hidden behind the moon, was something entirely different. The Imperial ship's communications came to life. A tall, purple-skinned alien appeared on the main screen. "Greetings, humans. I am Ambassador High of the Galactic Empire. We come in peace to welcome you into our grand civilization." Grant watched as Earth's official diplomat, Dr. Walker, responded from the old station in orbit. Everything was going according to plan. Let them think we're young and impressed by their show of power. The ambassador's friendly tone changed quickly. "As per Imperial law, your planet will now come under our protection. Your military forces will be reduced, and an Imperial governor will be appointed to oversee your development." Dr. Walker played his part perfectly, acting surprised and concerned. "Surely we can discuss this. Earth is an independent world." "This is not a negotiation," Ambassador High said firmly. "It is Imperial law. Resist, and we will be forced to demonstrate our power." Grant smiled as he saw small weapon ports opening on the Imperial ship. Right on schedule. He pressed a button, speaking to all hidden ships. "Remember, everyone, let them fire first. We need this recorded for the history books." The Imperial ship launched what they probably thought was a scary display of force, a small missile toward an empty part of Earth's orbit. The explosion was impressive, lighting up space like a small sun. "That was merely a warning," Ambassador High announced proudly. "Our smallest weapon. Submit now and—" Grant cut the transmission. "Battle links active," he ordered. Every crew member on every hidden ship connected their neural interfaces. 6 human ships became one fighting force, their crews thinking and moving as one. "Let's show them how humans say hello." The Thunder and its 5 sister ships rose from behind the moon, moving in perfect formation. Through his neural link, Grant felt the power of his ship, the excitement of his crew, the readiness of their weapons. The Imperial ship's sensors finally detected them. Grant could imagine their confusion as they saw ships appearing from nowhere, using technology they couldn't understand. "Target their weapon ports only," Grant ordered. "No casualties. Just a lesson." 6 human ships moved like dancers in space, their movements impossible by normal physics. The neural interfaces let their crews ignore gravity, inertia, and human limitations. Each ship fired precisely, their new quantum weapons slicing through the Imperial ship's shields like they weren't there. In 30 seconds, every weapon port on the Star Glory was destroyed. The massive Imperial ship floated helplessly, its golden armor now marked with precise cuts and burns. "Open channel," Grant ordered. When Ambassador High appeared, looking shocked and afraid, Grant spoke calmly. "This is Captain James Grant of Earth's Defense Force. We reject your offer of protection. Let me be clear, Earth is off limits to the Empire." This is impossible," High stuttered. Your technology. You can't. We can, Grant interrupted. And we just did. Leave our solar system. Now. And tell your empire this. If they want a war with humans, they better be ready to lose. As the Imperial ship turned and fled toward faster than light speed, Grant received a message from Earth Command. Well done, Captain. But you know they'll be back. Grant looked at his crew, saw their determination and pride. Yes, they will. And we'll be ready. He touched his neural interface, feeling his ship's power humming through him. They haven't seen anything yet. The real war was about to begin, and humanity was more than ready for it. Admiral Jones watched the Imperial fleet appear at the edge of the solar system. 50 massive warships dropped out of faster-than-light travel, their golden hulls gleaming against the darkness of space. From his command center deep inside Mars Base 1, he couldn't help but smile. They had sent exactly what he expected. Their standard pacification fleet. All ships, combat positions, he ordered through his neural link. Remember your training. Let them come to us. 300 human ships waited in formation around Mars, visible to the Imperial sensors. Another 500 stayed hidden in quantum space, a trick humans had discovered by accident while testing their neural interfaces. The Empire was about to learn some hard lessons about human warfare. The Imperial fleet commander's voice boomed through the communication channels. Attention Earth forces. You have 1 hour to surrender and accept Imperial rule. If you refuse, we will destroy your forces and take your world by force. Jones pressed a button on his chair. This is Admiral Jones of the Earth Defense Force. We reject your demands. He paused for effect. You have 10 minutes to leave our solar system, or we will destroy your fleet. Laughter came through the channels. The Imperial commander found this amusing. You dare threaten us? We have ruled space for 10,000 years. 9 minutes, 50 seconds, Jones replied calmly and cut the communication. Through his neural link, Jones connected with every ship captain in the fleet. In their shared mental space, they saw each other as glowing points of light, moving and thinking as one. This was humanity's greatest advantage. While the Empire's ships needed to send signals back and forth, human ships shared thoughts at the speed of thought. They're moving into attack formation, reported Captain Lee from the front line. In their shared mental space, they all saw what she saw. The Imperial ships spreading out in their standard arrow pattern. Just like the training simulations, Jones thought to his captains, wait for my signal. The Imperial fleet launched their first attack wave. 10,000 missiles streaked across space toward the human fleet. In older times, this would have been devastating, but humans had learned to think differently about space warfare. Now, Jones commanded. 300 human ships vanished from normal space, their quantum drives shifting them slightly out of phase with reality. The Imperial missiles passed harmlessly through the spaces where the ships had been. Phase 2, Jones ordered. The hidden 500 ships appeared behind the Imperial fleet, but they didn't fire weapons. They didn't need to. Instead, they activated their gravity pulse generators, another technology born from neural interface research. Imperial ships suddenly found themselves pulled in 50 different directions at once. Their golden hulls, designed to withstand energy weapons and missiles, crumpled under forces they were never built to resist. 20 ships were torn apart in the first seconds. By the stars. The Imperial commander's voice shook with fear. What kind of weapons are these? The first wave of human ships reappeared, now inside the Imperial formation. This was new human battle doctrine. Fight from inside the enemy's lines. Neural interfaces let human pilots perform maneuvers that would kill any normal crew, their ships dancing between Imperial vessels like water flowing through rocks. All ships, execute attack pattern thunder, Jones commanded. Through their shared mental space, every human captain moved as one. Their ships spun and twisted in ways that defied normal physics, quantum weapons cutting through Imperial shields like paper. They didn't aim to destroy. Each shot disabled weapons, engines, and control systems. In 5 minutes, 40 Imperial ships floated helpless in space. The remaining 10 tried to flee, their faster-than-light drives charging. "Let them go," Jones ordered. "They need to carry our message back." As the surviving Imperial ships fled, Jones opened a channel to the disabled fleet. "Your ships are crippled, but your life support is intact. We will provide rescue coordinates to your leadership. Remember this day. This is what happens when you threaten Earth." Later, in his office on Mars, Jones received a message from Earth Command. "They'll send more ships," it read. "Yes," Jones replied, touching his neural interface. "But now they know we can fight, and they haven't seen half of what we can do." In the darkness of his office, a hologram showed the disabled Imperial fleet drifting in space. Humanity's first major space battle had lasted less than 10 minutes. The real question was, what would the Empire do next? General Mark Taylor stood on the bridge of the Star Striker, Earth's newest command ship, watching as his fleet prepared for humanity's first attack into Imperial space. 5,000 ships gathered around him, most of them invisible to normal sensors thanks to their quantum drives. "Status report," he ordered, his neural interface connecting him to every captain in the fleet. "All ships ready, sir." The shared response came instantly through the mental link. "Operation Thunder Roll is ready to begin." Taylor smiled. The Empire thought they knew war after 10,000 years of ruling space. They were about to learn how humans fought when they were angry. "Send the message," he ordered. His communications officer activated a special broadcast that would reach every Imperial world in this sector. On screens across 1,000 worlds, Taylor's message played. "Attention, citizens of the Empire. I am General Taylor of Earth. Your leaders attacked our world without cause. Now we bring the war to you. But we are not like your Empire. We don't target civilians. Every world that surrenders will be protected. Those who fight." He paused. "Well, you've heard what happened to your pacification fleet." The response was immediate. 3 Imperial battle fleets jumped into the sector, twice as many ships as the human fleet. Taylor had expected this. It was exactly what their plan needed. "Begin Phase 1, Taylor ordered through the neural link. "Show them why humans are different." Instead of fighting, every visible human ship released thousands of small objects. The Imperial fleet's sensors would show them as debris or missiles. They were neither. "They're charging weapons," his sensor officer reported. "Imperial ships are launching countermeasures." "Let them waste their energy," Taylor said calmly. "Execute Phase 2. The small objects suddenly activated, revealing themselves as quantum communication relays. Before the Empire could react, every civilian communication system in the sector was under human control. Taylor's next broadcast went directly to every home, shop, and building in Imperial space. "Watch carefully. This is how Earth fights." The hidden human ships appeared in perfect formation, but they didn't attack the Imperial fleet. Instead, they began a carefully choreographed dance in space. Through their neural interfaces, 5,000 ship crews moved as one, their vessels weaving impossible patterns between Imperial ships. The Imperial fleet fired millions of shots. None hit. Human ships phased in and out of normal space, moving faster than Imperial targeting systems could follow. This wasn't just battle. It was psychological warfare. "Phase 3, Taylor commanded. Each human ship activated its gravity pulse generator at precisely the same moment. The Imperial fleet found itself trapped in a web of artificial gravity fields, their ships unable to move or fire. Taylor opened a channel to the Imperial commanders. "Your ships are now under our control. You have 2 choices, surrender and live, or force us to destroy you. You have 1 minute to decide." Through the neural network, Taylor felt his crew's satisfaction. This was new human battle doctrine. Win without destruction when possible. Show strength through control rather than killing. The Imperial commanders surrendered. They had never seen warfare like this. "Now," Taylor said to his fleet, "the real work begins." Over the next hour, Human ships visited every Imperial world in the sector. They didn't conquer or destroy. Instead, they set up defensive grids, provided quantum communication systems, and showed the Imperial citizens something they had never seen before, a powerful force that protected instead of ruled. In his private quarters later, Taylor received a message from Earth Command. "Excellent work. The psychological impact is better than we hoped. 3 more Imperial sectors have contacted us about switching sides." Taylor looked at the tactical display, showing human influence spreading across Imperial space like a green wave. "Send them our standard response," he replied. "Earth protects its friends." The Empire had made a crucial mistake. They thought ruling through fear was power. Humans were showing the galaxy a different way. Protection, cooperation, and the choice to be free. Through his neural link, Taylor felt his crew's determination. They weren't just winning a war. They were changing how an entire galaxy thought about power. "Send the next broadcast," he ordered. "Tell them what's coming next." The Empire was about to learn another lesson about humans. They never stopped innovating, never stopped improving, and never, ever gave up. Admiral White stood before the Imperial Council again, but this time there was no argument. The massive council chamber was silent as they watched human ships take another Imperial sector on the giant space map. 3 months, White said quietly. It took them just 3 months to take control of 20 sectors. "Do you understand now what I warned you about?" Council leader Red, who had once laughed at White's warnings, looked aged and tired. How do they keep defeating our best ships?" White walked to the center of the room and activated a hologram showing a captured human ship. "This vessel taught us something terrifying. The humans haven't just been advancing their technology. They've been holding back." The council members whispered among themselves as White continued. "This ship, it's their older model. The ones they let us see first. And even this," he touched the hologram, making it spin. "Even this is more advanced than our best ships." A new message flashed on the main screen. White read it aloud. "Imperial Border Station 47 has fallen. No casualties. All Imperial citizens safe. Human protection grid activated. No casualties." Council member Blue asked. "They took an entire station without killing anyone." White nodded grimly. "That's what makes them different. They don't want to destroy us. They're showing the galaxy a new way to use power." He changed the hologram to show scenes from human-protected worlds. "Look at these Imperial citizens. They're not conquered people living in fear. They're protected people living in freedom. Surely we can copy their technology." Green suggested desperately. "We have their ships to study." White laughed without humor. "We tried. When our scientists attempted to open their neural interface systems, the technology simply..." He paused, looking for a simple word. "It disappeared, turned to dust. They somehow built technology that destroys itself if we try to study it." The council chamber's doors burst open. A messenger rushed in, his scales pale with fear. "The human fleet. They'd done something new." White turned to the main screen as it showed the latest battle. 100 Imperial ships surrounded just 10 human vessels. It should have been an easy Imperial victory. Instead, the human ships released a new weapon. Small drones that attached to Imperial ships. "Watch," White said quietly. The Imperial ship's golden armor began to change color, turning silver. Then, to everyone's shock, the ships turned their weapons on other Imperial vessels. "Some kind of control system," White explained. "They've learned to hack our technology. They can turn our own ships against us." He faced the council. "Do you understand now? While we spent 10,000 years feeling superior, the humans spent their time learning, adapting, thinking differently." Another message flashed. 3 more Imperial sectors requesting human protection. "They're not just winning battles," White continued. "They're winning hearts. Every world they protect becomes their ally. They're offering our citizens something we never did, the choice to be free while being protected." Council Leader Red slumped in his chair. What can we do? Nothing. White replied simply. We can't fight them. We can't copy them. We can't even understand how they think. He looked at the map showing human influence spreading across the galaxy. They don't want to destroy the Empire. They want to change it. The room fell silent again as a final message appeared. White read it aloud. Earth Command offers peace talks. Their only condition, freedom for all Imperial worlds to choose their own path. How did we get it so wrong? Red asked quietly. White touched the neural interface the humans had given him, a gift that let him understand their way of thinking. Because we thought power meant control, they know it means responsibility. We ruled through fear, they protect through trust. As the Council began drafting their response to Earth, White smiled slightly. He had warned them about humans, but even he hadn't understood completely. They weren't just a powerful species. They were something the galaxy had never seen before. A race that had the power to conquer but chose to protect instead. The Empire's greatest mistake wasn't fighting humans. It was not understanding that humans would change everything. Lieutenant James Wilson stood at his post aboard the human ship Swift Justice, watching the largest Imperial fleet he had ever seen. 5,000 golden warships filled the space before him. But they weren't attacking. They were running. Never thought I'd see the day, Captain Rogers said beside him. The mighty Empire, running from a fleet 1/10 their size. Through his neural interface, Wilson connected with the ship's sensors, feeling rather than seeing the fear radiating from the Imperial vessels. Only 500 human ships had come to accept the Empire's official surrender of this sector. But that was all they needed. Incoming transmission from the Imperial commander, Wilson reported. The main screen lit up showing a tired-looking Imperial officer. This is Fleet Commander Gray. As ordered by the Imperial Council, we are withdrawing from sectors 87 through 92. We request safe passage. Captain Rogers nodded. Safe passage granted. Our ships will escort you to your new borders. As the Imperial fleet began moving, Wilson noticed something interesting on his sensors. Captain, some of the Imperial ships are dropping things behind them. Traps? Rogers asked, though he didn't sound worried. Wilson focused his neural interface on the objects. No, sir. They're memory crystals. Messages. Thousands of them. Rogers smiled. The Empire's crews are leaving messages for their families on the worlds we now protect. Let them. It shows they trust us. The retreat had been happening across Imperial space for the past week. After failing to stop the human advance, the Empire had ordered all forces to withdraw to their core worlds. But it wasn't the organized retreat they had planned. Sir, Wilson called out, 3 Imperial destroyers are requesting permission to defect. Add them to the list, Rogers replied. That makes 200 ships today alone. The human fleet moved in perfect formation, their quantum drives humming silently in space. Through their shared neural network, every crew member could feel their ships working together like a single living thing. This was what had terrified the Empire most, not just humanity's advanced technology, but how naturally they used it. New contact, Wilson announced. Large Imperial battleship dropping out of FTL. It's the Starhammer. Rogers straightened in his chair. The Starhammer was famous. It had never lost a battle in 300 years of service. Until it met humans. The massive battleship's commander appeared on their screen. This is Commander Black of the Imperial Starhammer. He paused, looking both proud and pained. I request permission to join the Human Protection Fleet. A murmur of surprise ran through the bridge. The Starhammer wasn't just any ship. It was a symbol of Imperial power. Why? Rogers asked simply. Because in 1 month, you did what the Empire never managed in 10,000 years, Black replied. You protected people without demanding their freedom in return. My crew and I, we want to learn your way. Through the neural net, Wilson felt the excitement of every human crew member. This was more than just winning a war. This was changing hearts and minds. "Permission granted," Rogers said. "Welcome to a new way of thinking about power." As Wilson watched the Starhammer join their formation, more Imperial ships began breaking away from their retreat. Not all of them wanted to defect. Some just wanted to learn, to understand how humans thought and fought. "Message from Earth Command," Wilson announced. "They're calling this Operation Avalanche. The Empire's retreat is causing a chain reaction. 30 more sectors have requested human protection in the last hour alone." Rogers nodded, watching the space map as human influence spread like a wave across the galaxy. The Empire thought size meant strength. They never understood that true power comes from how you use what you have. The Imperial fleet continued its retreat, leaving behind not just territory, but an entire way of thinking about power and control. In their wake, human ships moved in, setting up protection grids, sharing technology, and showing the galaxy a different path. "Sir," Wilson said, checking his latest readings, "the Imperial core worlds are signaling. They're requesting a meeting." Rogers smiled. "Tell Earth Command the Empire is finally ready to talk, and this time they'll listen." The Great Retreat was more than just the Empire running away. It was the galaxy running toward something new. The human way of peace through protection, power through responsibility, and strength through unity. The Imperial Palace's grand meeting hall had never been so quiet. Admiral White stood next to Earth's representative, Commander Jack Baker, as they faced the Imperial Council. Through the massive windows behind them, thousands of human ships floated in formation, their sleek designs contrasting with the ancient golden architecture of the Imperial capital. "The final vote stands," Council Leader Red announced, his voice echoing in the silence. "The Galactic Empire officially recognizes Earth's Protection Alliance as the new guardian of peace in the galaxy." Baker stepped forward, his simple blue uniform standing out among the elaborate Imperial robes. "Earth accepts this responsibility," he said clearly. "All worlds, including Imperial core worlds, will have the same choice: join us as equals or govern themselves under our protection." White watched the council members' reactions. Just 6 months ago, they had laughed at his warnings about humans. Now they sat in stunned silence as humanity reshaped their 10,000-year-old empire without firing a shot. "There is one more thing," Baker continued, activating a hologram in the center of the room. It showed a new ship design unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. "We're offering to share some of our technology. Not weapons, but medical advances, quantum communications, and basic neural interfaces. Every world gets the same access, whether they join us or not." The council chamber erupted in confused whispers. This went against everything they knew about power. Why would humans share their advantages? "Because," Baker said, answering their unspoken question, "real strength comes from lifting others up, not holding them down." White stepped forward. "Speaking as someone who has experienced human neural interface technology, I can tell you it changes more than just how you fight. It changes how you think." He touched the small interface at his neck. "It lets you truly understand other perspectives. Perhaps if we had this 10,000 years ago, we would have built a very different empire." On the huge screens around the chamber, reports kept flowing in. Another 1,000 worlds requesting human protection. Former Imperial commanders joining Earth's training programs. Ancient enemies beginning peace talks under human guidance. "We've written a warning," Red said quietly, "to be broadcast to all unknown regions of space." He pressed a button, and the message played. "To all spacefaring civilizations, the species known as humans are not to be provoked. They possess technology we cannot understand, strategies we cannot counter, and a philosophy of power that has reshaped our galaxy. Do not mistake their kindness for weakness. The humans protect what is theirs. And now, much of the galaxy stands with them." Baker smiled slightly. "That's not the message we would have chosen, but it's not wrong." He looked around the chamber. "Humanity doesn't want to rule. We want to protect, to help, to lift up. But yes, threaten those under our protection, and you'll find out why the Empire learned to run. Through the window, more ships appeared, but these weren't human vessels. Former Imperial warships, now repainted with Earth's blue and silver colors, took formation alongside human ships. Their crews had chosen to join Earth's mission of protection. The Human Protection Alliance officially begins its duties today, Baker announced. Our first act, opening the Advanced Technology Exchange on Earth. All species, all worlds welcome. Let's build something new together. White watched his former colleagues' faces as they realized this was really happening. Humanity had done the impossible, conquered an empire without destroying it, gained power by sharing it, and united former enemies through protection rather than fear. One last thing, Baker said, turning to leave. Earth has a message for any other empires out there who think conquest is power. He pointed to the fleet outside. Take a good look. This is what happened when someone threatened Earth. Imagine what would happen if someone threatened our friends. As Baker left the chamber, White followed, his neural interface humming with connection to the vast network humanity had built. The Empire had feared humans would destroy their civilization. Instead, humans had shown them a better one. In the depths of space, the warning message raced outward to unknown civilizations. Do not threaten human-protected space. They came in peace, offered friendship, and shared their strength. But those who chose war learned a hard truth. When humans fight back, they change everything. A new age had begun. The galaxy would never be the same.